Okay guys, we're going to go through a demonstration for packing for a camp out. A weekend camp out checklist is what I'm going to kind of follow. You can get one of these as you're leaving tonight. It's going to be one of your handouts. And I'm going to kind of follow through this because this is what I use when I pack to go camping. It says at the top here, a pack with a frame, but guys, let's be reasonable. Packs with frames or any kind of backpack is very expensive, and it's not real practical for all of the camping that we do. So some of the things that I like to do when I pack for camping is use 5-gallon buckets, and I've got a couple bags that I pack extra stuff in for my camp out. Some of my clothing items, some more of my bedding items. But I've got 2 buckets here, and in general, and John, thank you for the nice labels. On the top of it, I've got one labeled with my name, and this one says bedding, so I know what's in there. And I've got a second one here that's labeled other stuff, and that's just other stuff. But we'll start opening my buckets, and we'll see what all I've got here. So I'm going to take the lid off my other stuff bucket, and I've got my floppy hat that we'll go over that in a couple minutes. But I want to start with the bedding items, guys, because that's probably the most important thing you're going to have to pack for any camp out, is to make sure that you're going to have a comfortable place to sleep, that you're going to be warm enough, that the cold from the ground isn't going to make you so cold that you can't sleep at night. We want you comfortable. One of the best things you can invest in, and you can do this over time. Parents, do not run out and buy expensive equipment for your boys right now. We can borrow things to them, loan things to them. Other types of bedding is less expensive than this, so we'll look into some other options. But this is a self-inflating air mattress. Now this is not as traditional as something you might normally see, but we unwind it, we unscrew this, and this is one of the first things you would do when you get to camp. And if we let it do it on its own, it's probably going to take an hour to fill up with air. So we're going to help it along here a little bit. Unfold it. And this is a mummy-shaped pad. This is great for backpacking, but this is my general pad that I use all the time. And we're not going to go through this, but like I said, as it fills up with air, you can always blow a little bit of air into it to get it to fill up a little bit faster. You don't want to blow a whole lot of air in there, because every time you breathe into it, guys, you're putting some bacteria in there. And one of the things you want to make sure is that when you store this, you store it open, flat, with the valve wide open. That way it has time to breathe, and anything that might try to grow inside there isn't going to grow. So we leave that open. This is my sleeping bag, guys. I've got a couple things I can do. I can sleep right in that bag, and I can throw some blankets on top of that, and that would keep me warm under most conditions. I've got a second mummy bag, I didn't bring that tonight, that I could use this just as my mattress and lay out a mummy bag on top of this for sleeping. So there's a couple options. I'm going to show you my summer routine. I like to take my air mattress and stick it in the middle of this thing. Gives me a little bit more room. And because it's not inflated, it's not working as well, but that would be my mattress if I were going like on a spring or summer camp out. Probably in here in a couple weeks you guys are going out, you're going to probably want to have sleeping bags to keep you a little bit warmer. But then I've got sheets that I lay out on top of this and pretty much just make it into a bed. There's my sheet that I stretch around. It's just a twin size fitted sheet that fits on there. I've got a second sheet that I'm going to lay on top of here. Then I'm going to put blankets on top of myself. So I end up with a nice bed. I've got a pillowcase here. And that's pretty much everything that was in that bucket. So now I brought along my pillows. And I've got my pillowcase that I can put those into. And at the end of the weekend, my pillows go back in my bag, and this becomes my dirty clothes bag. That's what I put all my dirty clothes in to take them home that I wash myself. Don't make your mom do that. Other clothing items, guys. I've got my pajamas, just some lounge pants. I've got a short and a long sleeve shirt. Now guys, the important thing you've got to understand is that your body naturally gives off oils. Those get into your clothing. And if you try to crawl into a sleeping bag or a bed with the same clothes on that you've been wearing all day, all of those body oils that are in your clothes, they're going to make you cold. You're going to have a hard time staying warm. So it's important to get these clothes off that you've been wearing all day, put on something that's clean and dry, and you're going to stay a lot warmer. For the 3 minutes it's going to take for you to change into this, you're going to appreciate having taken the time to do that, to put on some clothes that are going to keep you warmer. I've also got my shoes that if I've got to get up in the middle of the night, I've got a pair of socks stuffed inside there. So I keep these by my bed if I've got to get up and run out and do my thing in the middle of the night. Here are my extra blankets. And I've got 4 of these that I would lay out and have available. I'm not going to pull them all out. Extra clothing, guys. I've got an extra long sleeve shirt that I'm going to be able to change into. Pretty much when I get up the next day, I'm going to put these clothes back on because they're clean, they're not dirty, they don't smell too bad. So I'm going to put these clothes back on. I'll probably change my undershort, I'll change my socks, but guys, I can put these clothes back on. But I've got several pairs of extra socks. Socks are important, guys. When we're out camping, when we're out running around in dewy, damp grass, your feet get wet. You're going to want to have that extra pair of shoes. You're going to want to have a good pair of hiking boots. And you're going to want to have lots of extra socks, guys, to take along and change your socks. I've got my extra t-shirt. I've got an extra pair of socks. There's my undershorts falling on the floor. And I've got an extra pair of jeans. And I've got 2 more blankets in here. Now, besides the 2 extra blankets I've got in that part, another important item that you're going to want to invest in is a rain suit. And guys, ponchos are nice, but when it rains, all that water has to run off the poncho, and where does it go to? Right on your feet. So it's nice to have a pair of rain pants and a rain jacket. And then make sure that the boots that you buy are waterproofed, so that as you put this outfit on, you're going to be able to stay dry and stay out with us and do all kinds of things without getting cold, without getting wet. That's important. So I've got my rain suit that I've got on the side. And notice that was on the outside of my bag here, guys. I knew where it was, so I could get to it quickly if I needed it. If it starts raining as we're setting up camp, you're going to want to get to your rain gear as quick as possible. So put it somewhere near the outside of your bag, in an outside pocket where you can get to it quickly if you have to. Or at the top of a bucket. Don't bury it down in the bottom. You may not need it all weekend, and that's a good thing, but if you do, you want to be able to get to it fast. Now, I've got more extra socks. Wow, lots of extra socks. I got a couple pieces, just couple short pieces of rope. You never know when you're going to need to just tie something off with a short piece of rope. I've got my toilet paper for the weekend, guys. You don't need a whole roll of toilet paper or a brand new one out of your mom's bathroom cabinet, just a partially used one. So when you see the toilet paper roller get about this size at home, when it's getting low, ask Mom, can I have that to put in a plastic bag to put with my camping stuff, so that you've got that to bring with you. I think that's just about it, other than my blankets in there. We're going to set that aside. We're going to start looking to see what I've got in my other bucket. Oh, I'll need that too. I showed you my floppy hat there, guys. This is important, especially in the summertime. And I don't know how this is going to fit on my hair. Usually I'd put a bandana on first. But guys, this is going to help keep the sun off your face. It's going to keep the sun off your ears. Most of you have short hair, guys, and the sun will burn your ears badly if you don't cover them in the summertime. So make sure you get some kind of a hat with a brim that covers your ears and keeps you from getting sunburned. This was the bag from my air mattress. I've got my plate. Everybody needs their own plate. Plastic. Don't bring a glass plate. Don't go out and spend a lot of money on a mess kit. Go to a thrift store. Next time your mom's going to a thrift store, ask her to look for just a cheap little plastic plate that you can use for camping. You don't need anything fancy. I've got my own cup, and I've got a little piece of rope, and I've got something that I can clip it on my belt so that when we go out camping, it's not in my hands, but I've got it so that if I need a drink of water, someone can pour some water into my cup. I've also got my silverware, and I've got a little fanny pack here that's got all kinds of little supplies in it, guys. But I've got my silverware in my backpack. I've got a spoon, a little knife, and a fork there. Again, cheap things that I've picked up at a thrift store that take nothing for me to have along with me. I've also got my little alarm clock I keep with me. I've got a pencil in here in my fanny pack too. I've got my bug spray. I've got a toothbrush and toothpaste, some dental floss. I've got a flashlight, and I've got my Scoutmaster whistle attached on there too. And that's on just a lanyard that I can put around my neck so that at night, and especially in a tent at night, this is all you need for a flashlight, guys. You don't need a big monster flashlight. Just something small that is just lights up enough that you can see what you're doing. I've got other flashlights too that are bright LED type lights, but these are good too because they're small enough. Extra batteries. And then I've also got another spare flashlight. My fire starting kit, I've got a sharpening stone and some earplugs because some of our older adult scouts snore. So I've got just kind of a supply kit there that this is, when I head out to go camping, this is what I take with me. Yes, I was looking at you, Roger. I've got my personal first aid kit is in another little fanny pack that I can take with me. And in here, I've got some ibuprofen, I've got some Tylenol, and I've got some Benadryl in here. Now, if you're going to have these types of things with you guys, we need to know that you have them. Your parent needs to notify us that you've got them, and they really should be left with an adult. Like I said, these are some things that I carry, but you probably should not, because we don't want you being accused of having something you're not supposed to have. So let us know if you have any kind of medications, pills with you that you need to take. That's correct. Antiseptic wipes I've got in there. I've got a little tube of Neosporin. I've got some eye drops. Ouch! I've got a pair of tweezers that just jabbed me in the finger. And then I've got all kinds of assorted little Band-Aids and triangular bandages and things like that that are in this little bag in there also. So that's my first aid kit. I didn't bring, because I'm only going out for the weekend, guys. Not likely that we're going to have showers or baths available to us, so I didn't bring a full-size bath towel. I just brought a little hand towel, a washcloth that my wife was going to throw away, so I said, can I have that for my camping stuff? So I've got it for my camping stuff. I've got my soap in a waterproof container. And guys, after you use your soap, leave this open so it dries out. And I've got, like I said, a couple bars of soap in there that are old and used. Again, things that were just about done at home, and I said, oh, that can go with my camping stuff. So it goes in there. And I think this was from a hotel stay at one time. So you just kind of stock up on those things as you come across them. I've also got other things in here. This just is in my bucket. And this other stuff bucket is the one I keep at home that's pretty much always packed, always ready to go. So I've got in here some shampoo. I've got some mouthwash. I've got some saline nasal spray. I've got some more Visine, a couple Band-Aids, some Q-tips, just a few things in there that I might need. I've got, in case we were to go out on a canoe, I can put my car keys in here. This floats so I don't lose the keys to my vehicle. I'd probably leave those behind if we were just going to go like out on a lake. But if we're going on a long-term camping, my keys go in this. I've got my cribbage board. I don't know if any of you know anything about cribbage, but it's a card game, and this is the board you use to keep score. So of course I've got a deck of cards in here too. There's more toilet paper, a couple more half rolls. A couple handkerchiefs, guys. These are good not only if you don't use them for blowing your nose, they do make good bandanas, and Lord knows with guys with hair like mine, I need a good bandana once in a while to tie things back. I've got a stocking cap. I've got another toothbrush in here. I've got some powder to keep myself dry because you don't want to get chafed after you've cleaned up and dried off. You want to kind of powder yourself a little bit to keep yourself dry. I've got just a little bag of Gardettos, a snack in here in case I were to need emergency food if we couldn't eat for a while for whatever reason. I've got a little emergency food in there. I've got a little hand lotion. You'd be surprised when you're out, guys, camping, how rough the outdoors is on your hands. So it's a good idea to try to wash your hands good and then put some lotion on them and let that soak in real good, guys, because otherwise your hands get really chapped and scraped and you get all kinds of little sores. Don't want infections starting in. I've got another, this is a towel I could use like as a dish towel or a second towel for drying off. More toilet paper. Wow, I've got lots of toilet paper, guys. Couple extra plastic bags. I've got my sharp knife. And guys, I would not recommend bringing large, sharp knives like this. This is a fishing knife, a fillet knife. It is razor sharp. I could probably shave with it. But guys, this is good for if we do fishing and I need to fillet some fish, I could do that. If we've got vegetables to cut up for dinner, if we've got bread to slice, whatever the case. Usually several of us adults have good sharp knives. You guys should not have anything more, and like I said, for camping purposes, anything more than a little pocket knife like this, you guys aren't going to need it, okay? So please don't bring any kind of hunting or fishing knives. If you do, again, let us adults know and we will hold on to it for you for the weekend, all right? We don't want any unfortunate things to happen. So like I said, I've got a little, this is a little net. It's a mosquito net, guys. Some places we go, mosquitoes are horrible, and this will at least go over my head and keep the mosquitoes off my face so that I can set up camp, so I can do things that I may have to do. If it's windy out, you put your floppy hat on top of that to hold it on your head. I've got a spare pair of sunglasses here in case I lose mine. Some hand sanitizer. I've got a little American flag. Some more soap. I've got a pair of leather gloves, work gloves. I've got my rope for demonstrating knot tying. I've got a rope long enough to make a clothesline, and I've got a few clothespins in case I need to dry some things, hang them up on my clothesline to hold on there. And that's it for that bucket, but there was a lot in there. Now the only other thing I've got, guys, and this I would probably leave in my truck unless I absolutely needed it, and these are warm weather or cold weather. I've got lots of extra gloves and socks and a hat. I've got my coveralls and my big heavy snow boots are in here. So I've got everything that I would need to go out camping pretty much no matter what the weather. I've got my sleeping gear to stay warm at night. I've got my extra clothes, my rain gear. That's about what you need to go camping. And that pretty much covers everything that was on our list to start.